So what's all happened on the 6th of October throughout history? A whole bunch of things. You had architect Le Corbusier was born in 1887, the president of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. Milosevic resigns in 2000. Sayonara Milosevic. He resigns. 2017, Ishiguro awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. 2014, John O'Keefe, May Britt Moser, Edvard Moser wins the 2014 Nobel Prize in Physics and Medicine. You have the debate, the famous debate in 1996 between Bob Dole and Bill Clinton. 1967, the hot Ashbury, San Francisco hippies throw the funeral for the end of the Summer of Love. The funeral for the end of the Summer of Love, is that a bad thing or is that the capstone? I'm going from the bottom to the top, so these are the ones that I said weren't as important. The top 10, I'll tell you when we get to the top 10. 1944, the Royal Dutch Navy submarine Swordfish sinks the U-168 submarine sub in the Java Sea. This is World War II. This is a Nazi. So the Dutch Navy sinks a Nazi submarine. 1893, Saha is born. Don't tell me Saha isn't important. Don't tell me you don't know who Saha is. You know who the hell is Saha? Let's take a quick moment to find out who the hell this is. Saha is born 1893. So when you're saying, hey, today's October 6th, you know, Bangladesh. Okay, well, there's some news that just happened in Bangladesh. The prime minister was just ousted. The students there's a revolution going on in Bangladesh right now. The prime minister is gone and they got an interim government. He's an Indian astrophysicist who devised the theory of thermal ionization. His Saha ionization equation allowed astronomers to accurately relate the spectral classes of stars to their actual temperatures. So there you go. Don't tell me no Saha isn't important. 1944, Austria is going to be liberated by the Canadians. 1683, it's German American Day. German American Day, 1683. That's why is it 1683? All because of Germantown. Germantown was established October 6th. This is Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan declares October 6th to be German American Day. Germantown had petitioned to end slavery. So that's why Reagan says today on October 6th is German American Day. What did the Germans bring? Well, they brought hamburgers and hot dogs and steaks and bacon. So thank you. Old time Germany, 1683, Germantown. Okay, 1866. Reginald Fessenden, a physicist, engineer, and inventor, was born in 1985, London. There's a constable killed in Broadwater Farm suburb riots a day after Cynthia Jarrett was killed. 1973, Egypt and Syria attack Israel during Yom Kippur. Egypt won their territories and Arab pride back, and Israel got peace with the largest Muslim nation in the region. Tishreen Liberation Day in Syria, Armed Forces Day in Egypt. 1973, Egypt and Syria attack Israel during Yom Kippur. So some of these things I've mentioned, and I want to go back to them because it's like, are these good? Are these not good? Not the top 10 yet. Not the top 10 list yet. Because you want to be on the side of the defenders. You want to be on the side of the oppressed. You want to fight the oppressors and the autocrats and the dictators and the totalitarian Nazi fascist fucks. So once you find out who the totalitarian Nazi fascist fucks are, then you can, in 1987, Fiji becomes a republic. And wait, why is Egypt and Syria 1973? Okay, so Fiji becomes a republic in 1987. 1945, U.S. General Dwight D. Eisenhower was on Hitler's train. He welcomed in The Hague on Hitler's train. So Hitler's conquered. Hitler has been defeated, and Dwight D. Eisenhower is riding around in Hitler's train in 1945 on October 6, 1942. The Allied assault on oil installations of Bula Saram. When it comes to World War II, there's almost no doubt whatsoever the fucking Nazis were pieces of shit. 1944, the Soviets march into Hungary and Czechoslovakia, which in terms of World War II, it's against the Nazis, so that was good. 1990, solar-powered orbiter Ulysses is launched. Isn't that exciting? Ulysses, the solar-powered orbiter, 1990. 1943, the Battle of La Vela, Solomon Island. It happens, right? 1943. Faith, released by George Michael, 1987. You got to have faith, baby! 1787, speech of James Wilson, American revolutionary. What is James Wilson's speech? 1787, James Wilson's speech, October 6th. So, it's a speech in the State House yard. This is from the University of Wisconsin, the National Constitution Center. Yep, and in the State House yard, the State House yard speech. And what's the speech about? As soon as the Constitution was presented to the public, it was met with an onslaught of criticism that its defenders needed to counter. Initially fell to the Constitution's champions based in Pennsylvania side of the Constitutional Convention to devise a response, and no response proved more influential than the one issued by James Wilson in a public speech delivered in the Pennsylvania State House yard. The first public defense of the Constitution, Wilson's speech, would be reprinted in over 30 newspapers across every state. In the next 2 months alone, the speech became best known for Wilson's justification for why the Constitution lacked a Bill of Rights. Wilson asserted that in consulting the federal government, any powers not positively delegated were reserved to the people. Therefore, a Bill of Rights was unnecessary and worse, dangerous, for anything omitted from an enumeration of rights could be treated as undeserving as protection. So, I disagree with all those things, and it's a good thing that actually we're going to come back and get the Bill of Rights, because living in America, if you don't specifically say you have freedom of speech or the right to petition or the right to peacefully assemble, then you don't have those freedoms. You're just supposed to assume them, presume them, pretend that they're there. No, you need them written down. So it's incredible that the Constitution was passed without all those stuff. So I will take a read at that later on, but it is an important speech. American Revolutionary, 1787. The revolution would have been absolutely pointless without the Bill of Rights. All right, now we're at the top 10 list. Are you excited about this? Hey, America, you excited? Hey, rest of the world. Hey, Bangladesh, you got 10 incredible events that happened today. 2004, a report, Charles Delford found no WMDs. Whoops. We invaded Iraq, killed 1 million people. We said they have weapons of mass destruction, and guess what? Saddam Hussein did not have weapons of mass destruction. We did not go up against a person heavily armed with a bunch of weapons. We went against pretty much somebody that had no weapons. 2015, Kajita, and that was because Saudi Arabia attacked us. 2015, Kajita of Japan and McDonald of Canada won Nobel Prize for Physics for neutrinos. Neutrinos. I know you know all about neutrinos, America. 2018, Nurmagomedov beats Conor McGregor. Oh, that fucking uppity son of a bitch. That arrogant. It was a 4th round submission. UFC lightweight title fight. 1959, the Soviet Luna number 3. It's the first successful photographic spacecraft impacts the moon. So it went up into the sky, took some pictures, sent the pictures back. We seen it, crashes into the moon. 1959, that happened. Soviet Luna, remember the space race? I mean, it was nice that the Cold War was kind of like, it was like our opponents, right? It was like a nice friendly rivalry. You spar with your friends and you fight with your enemies. 68 AD. Now this is exciting here. The Battle of Artaxata. This is Lucullus. Lucullus defeats Tigranes. Lucullus defeats Tigranes the Great of Armenia, 68 AD. 1956, Sabin announces his oral polio vaccine is ready for testing, which supplants Jonas Salks's vaccine. 1995, 51, Pegasi B is discovered. This is the first exoplanet. We've been looking at space and the solar system and all the stars for how long? We didn't find any planet that looks like Earth, anything that remotely looked like it could hold life the way Earth is until 1995. The first exoplanet was discovered in 1995. Hey, you guys, chill out. It's Sparky, chill out, man, chill out. And then you have Springtime. I've been calling Springtime Francesca, but I kind of want to call Mystery Francesca as well. So those are two puppies. It's not going to be puppies soon. I need to find a place for my puppies to... I need to get my puppies into middle-class households. 1948, Mary Leakey finds the first partial fossil skull of Proconsul africanus, an ancestor of apes and humans on Rusinga Island, Kenya. Also, she discovered the Xinjiang skull. Also, the first prototype, the Maiko Yin MiG-29. And then, of course, all those clergy and the emperors, all that religious people and all those emperors, they died, right? Margrave of Istria, the Bishop of Wurzburg, the Emperor of China, the Holy Roman Emperor, they died. Byzantine Roman Empress dies. Bulgarian Emperor dies. The Count of Mosulgau and the Archbishop of Pisa. Oh no, not the Margrave of Istria. I want to take a look at this Battle of Artaxata. So what happened with the Battle of Artaxata? Well, I'll tell you what happened at the Battle of Okay, so it's fought near the Arsanius River in 68 BC between an army of the Roman Republic and the army of the Kingdom of Armenia. The Romans were led by Proconsul Lucinus Lucellus, while the Armenians were led by Tigranes II of Armenia, who was sheltering Mithridates VI of Pontus. The battle was part of the Third Mithridatic War and was a Roman victory. After being defeated by the Romans in Asia Minor and in his native kingdom of Pontus, Mithridates VI of Pontus fled to his son-in-law Tigranes II of Armenia. The Romans are marching towards Artaxata, the kingdom's old capital, to force Tigranes to do battle. Aftermath. Soon after the battle, there was a near mutiny in Lucellus' camp. His troops were worn out after marching nearly 1,000 miles, fighting many battles with little to show for it. They refused to march after Tigranes and Mithridates forced Lucellus to turn south and invade the Armenian possessions in Mesopotamia. Mithridates and Tigranes turned to guerrilla warfare, and soon Armenia was back in Tigranes' hands. Mithridates returned to Pontus, where he was able to regain power after the Battle of Zela. Eventually, the Roman Senate sent Pompey the Great to replace Lucellus and finish off Mithridates. What? Pompey the Great? Pompey is going to be successful? Okay, so the Roman Empire, they just want to go around conquering and killing and destroying. And you know what? Armenia isn't yours, Rome. Armenia isn't yours. What else do we want to read about a little bit here? Let's see here. No WMDs. There's a couple of these on the bottom here that I really like. The solar-powered orbiter Ulysses is launched 1990. So we're going to send a satellite out into space, and it's powered by the sun. So that means just a tiny bit of electricity, they're able to make that thing work. That's I like that a lot. Let's see here. Yeah, the Canadians liberate Austria. That's a good, successful thing. But I'm going to take a look at this solar-powered Ulysses. Solar-powered Ulysses. And then that's it. Solar-powered Ulysses. Satellite. Okay, NASA Science right here. Wikipedia. Ulysses spacecraft. Ulysses, the joint European-U.S. space probe launched in 1990, is the first spacecraft to fly over the poles of the sun and return data on the solar wind, the sun's magnetic field, and other activity in the sun's atmosphere at high solar latitudes. Holy moly. So we sent this thing to the sun. So it used solar power, but it's getting closer and closer to the sun. Understanding such solar activity is important not only because the sun is an average star that's available for close scrutiny, but also because its activity has important consequences for Earth, its inhabitants, space weather, solar phenomena. It was launched October 6, 1990 on the space shuttle. It flew by Jupiter February 1992, and that planet-strong gravity field was used to send the spacecraft out of the ecliptic of the solar system so it could enter a polar orbit around the sun. Ulysses flew past the south pole of the sun September 13th, 1994, over the sun's north pole in 1995. At the time of minimum solar activity, it flew over the poles once again in 2000 and 2001, this time during maximum solar activity, and again in 2006, 2008 during another solar minimum, but with the polarity of the sun's magnetic field. After a year of operating with a much weakened power supply, Ulysses' mission ended June 30th, 2009. Holy moly. I mean, that's incredible. So for 19 years, Ulysses is going around. Among Ulysses' discoveries was that the solar wind speed did not increase continuously toward the poles, but rather at high latitudes leveled off at 750 kilometers, 450 miles per hour. The elemental composition of the solar wind was found to differ between fast and slow solar wind streams in the polar regions. The cosmic ray flux was not enhanced as much was expected. And here we got these two puppies. Hi there, two little puppies. Springtime Francesca. Maybe I'll call Mystery Fiorentini or something, huh? Yes, it is for Francesca. She's an anti-fascist. Beautiful, but also just politically on point. You know what I mean? If your politics are on point, it's pretty cool. And being a puppy, we're not destroying things of value. We're just kind of chewing on rags here and there. I like that. Spunky Dunky. Spunky Dunky getting bigger and bigger, huh? Alrighty.